Welcome to Manufacturing Tech Australia.
I'm here with Graham Ashton from PPC Moulding Services. Graham, welcome to Manufacturing Tech Australia.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for coming along.
No, so we'll get into what PPC is all about in a second, but we saw this pretty fancy looking piece of equipment here. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a 3D scanning CMM machine. So where you got the traditional CMMs with the gantry type and the probe, we actually use, this is using LED, and we can scan up a part, we can move it, it'll move around, we can lift it up, we can then stitch it over the actual CAD file, and we can actually see the surface deviations. Yeah. So it's a really trick machine, and it's a lot quicker than an actual gantry style CMM. So we can actually scan up a part, we can actually get a metrology report out of it within about 15 minutes, whereas you couldn't do that with the original CMM machines.
Yeah. And you said it's LED, not laser.
It's LED, not laser. That's why we don't have to have too much guarding. We have curtains that come down depending on lighting, on where you've got it. But for the show here, we leave it, we just pull the top down, we scan away, and basically we'll have that part scanned up. It'll rotate around. It'll take many different scans, and yeah, it's not just a turntable. You can actually use north, south, east, and west as well too. So it's about 600 by 600 we can do on this by about 300 height.
Yeah, right. And I imagine, given, I guess look at the surface of this, right?
Yep.
So, sure, you can scan that, you can make a model and you can print it, but I reckon you could also probably make the inverse and do a jig, right?
Correct. That's exactly what you can do with it. So you can actually print, you can scan this up, so you can reverse engineering. If you wanted to carve something out of something and then say, I want to get a CAD file from that, you can actually do that and convert that into a file as well too. Yeah. So clear materials, you need to actually put a spray over it, and that spray can evaporate out, and it's only very microns, it's not very thick. But yeah, for solid materials, if it's reflective, you need to spray it up, but for non-reflective, it works perfectly.
As far as I can tell, you're not in the business of selling 3D scanners, right?
No, that's right. So as we're injection molders, right, we're actually wanting to offer a service to our customers that actually, we tailor it differently to others do. We're not a bucket manufacturer or a flower pot manufacturer. We pride ourselves on medical devices and also defence work, but we also do a lot of commercial things. So we do rail pads and other things like that, lighting. So yeah, we do that, but we've got a number of machines on here that can demonstrate our capabilities and our one-stop offering that we can offer to customers. So from finished product and scanning, or even a startup, right through to prototyping. We can prototype up in injection grade material, which gives you about 90% of the integrity of an injection molded part. So you can do your drop test, your bash test. You can see things before you get to expensive tooling. So we can prototype that up. You can scratch it, sniff it, touch it, do all your testing, and say, right, now I can go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on an injection tool.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm definitely keen to have a check out some of that stuff in a second.
Absolutely.
I'm curious about some of the use cases where, someone who's got access to something like this might be, there's an obvious one, can I clone something? But I'm thinking through things like out of production spares and things like that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So you might have had a tool made by someone else or something made up, and you don't know where to get that spare part from. We can actually scan it, get you that file, so that way you reverse engineer it, you've got that model to kick off. Yeah,
I know people I've worked with in the past have said, hey, look, this is model 3 or 4 that we had over time, and we've only got the designs for models 1 and 2. We know this one's slightly different. I'm guessing this could help solve that problem.
100%. That's exactly right. You'd be surprised how many times, even in really big, large organisations, as they go through, they get T1s and they think we want to make a little change, but they may not have captured that. When it gets to the end, we can capture that and then basically get that file to them.
Or customer X has got modification Y, and we've forgotten and lost the designs.
100%. You can do all of that.
Yeah, awesome. All right, why don't we check out some of your injection?
Absolutely, come on over. So this is a called a Freeformer. It's made by Arburg, who we have a lot of their injection, over 100 of their injection molding machines. It's the only one in Australia. Right. So I've got one in each of my plants in Sydney and in Malaysia. And this is a prototype that we can actually make up. So you get your model and you want to, before you go to expensive tooling, we can actually prototype up that part in the injection grade material, so that you can actually do bash tests or your drop test. Any of your, if you're going into a medical 510K, it sort of gets you to that starting line without spending a lot of money, and you can work out all those issues that you might see. Right. As it's not a filament, it's actually a 3D printer it's got 3 different injection heads up in the top, and you can't do that with a filament printer. It's actually, that's using injection grade material. Yeah, right. And the same as this little part here. I mean, again, if it's a filament, generally they'll break up and crack up.
Yeah, it's going to be solid,
Yep. And here's another good example. That's the same grade, same density material, but we changed the structure so you can get different feelings in it. So it's a lot softer.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you've got just the way you've printed it.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
You just change that structure layer of it, and you can tailor it to almost what you need. So you can basically, it's amazing what you can actually get with that. So it's quite good.
Yeah, right.
It's very unique. It's not a cheap machine, and as I said, it's the only one in Australia. But we're happy to offer that bureau service that can actually get people to that starting one that they need to. You know, given that you can't buy these anymore, they still service them and they still manufacture all the parts for them. They are a very unique machine.
Yeah, right. And you say the only one in Australia?
Only one in Australia.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
And so, how's the material get into this thing? I mean, I'm thinking traditional 3D printing, you've got a reel of...
Yeah, no. So it's using polymer that we actually put into it.
Yeah, right.
So you can see it's using polymer.
Yep.
Right? And then in here, you've actually got the 3 injection heads. So they're mini injection heads in there. So the screw and barrel, so 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
You've got support material and you've got your 2 materials there. So you can do multi-materials in here.
Yeah, right.
So a little hopper on the top, so you fill up. It's got its own little chiller in the back there, and yeah, it prints out the parts.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, it's very unique. Good to go.
So I mean, this is really interesting. What are some of the customer use cases you're using it for?
Okay, so here's one where we get our customers designed up a new humidifier, and we're able to actually print that up. So that was, it wasn't in that material, it was just what was available at the time.
Yeah.
And then as you can see, there's a chassis, and that's actually where it sits in. So this is where they're able to put all their electronics and their other things in there, and they could do their drop tests, their brash tests, and just to get them to that starting point before they actually go to that expensive material.
Yeah, right.
And so here's where we've got hard and soft. So on the bottom here, we've got the soft TPE, and then we've got, this is actually the graded material that they actually moulded it in.
Right.
So they're actually able to do all the screw assemblies and check it all out and make sure that gets them to the starting point before if you look at that, that would be quite an expensive tool.
Yeah.
So in 30 hours, we can print that up.
And is that going to be enough for them to get certification or just to do their initial internal testing?
It's enough to do their internal testing, right? Because certification, it needs to be out of the machines and everything else there.
So this one's doing polymers?
Yes, correct.
Right.
Yep.
So what's this sucker doing?
So this one's doing liquid silicone rubber, or LSR as we know it. So where you've got silicones and making parts out of it, here's a fairly good example. So this is just a very small, like an orthotic. And that's, you can't do that with many others. That's using LSR grade material. It's got a elongation of about 400%. It's got memory, so silicone's got a memory, so it'll come back as well. And that's where we use a lot of silicones in the seals. So again, that's a bondable grade, but that's not been printed in here.
Yeah.
But that's where the silicones come into their own play over, like TPEs or TPUs. They're really quite unique. Yeah. And then the same in the Freeformer, we can do an orthotic that's got hard and soft materials in there too.
Oh,
so
yeah, of course.
We can do that as well.
Material, yeah, right.
Exactly. We can do filters out of that one. They're quite unique.
Yeah, right. And so are the orthotics here are just for show, or is this like actual client prototype stuff?
They've been a prototype for somebody, but we were able to use it just to show at this point in time. Yeah. With this one, I mean, that's a big TPU. I mean, you can squash it, bounce it, same as what you did there.
Yeah.
And the LSR, that actually can print a manifold. So as you see there, that's actually enclosed with there. So we're not a Me Too molder. We're looking at where there's shortcomings in the industry and what the offerings are out there. And I think we're quite unique. I mean, we've grown. I've got a pretty big factory in Sydney with 300 people. We run 24 hours, 5.5 days. And in Malaysia, I've got 600 people, and we run 7 days. 24 hours up there.
Yeah, right. Pretty busy outfit.
I'm pretty busy. Proud Australian manufacturer.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you said something like this is about 30 odd hours?
About 30 hours, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yep. So you can get a prototype out pretty quickly, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
And because you're running 24/7, you can be, design during the day, print during the night, pick up the next morning type stuff.
There's no stopping to it. I mean, it prints lights out. Yeah. So, I mean, we can print this. It's been running lights out when we were talking there earlier.
Yep.
The same with this thing, it prints lights out. So once we get it set up and once we get it running, it just keeps going.
So you've got a prospective customer, and they want to work with you. What does a project look like?
Oh, look, come in, see us. I mean, if you haven't got a file, we can actually generate one up there, so we can have that designed up. We can manage a project right from conception right to the end market. do. You know, we do some of our customers there. We actually make and we go direct to the public with them. So you know, they can order through whatever system that they want to have there. We'll get that order and then we'll pack it, ship it, and send it out there. Medical, we do the same. We've actually we're compliant with FDA and whatnot, so we're regulated to be able to send finished medical parts straight out to the public, whether it be in Australia or overseas. So 97% of everything we make is exported. So I'm quite proud of that.
Absolutely. And I'm just thinking through someone who's worked with maybe one of your competitors or another supplier who's come to you and gone, we've had these problems and that's why we're hoping you could solve for them. What are the types of issues they've had that you've been able to help them not have?
That's a good question. Look, it's varied. You know, sometimes it's about whether they've actually seen, you know, the idiosyncrasies of how you actually design up a tool, how you get the parts out. You know, if I look at some of these parts, we're actually making boxes, so we've had to design up tools that can collapse down and work out and still do it in a manner that's robust and commercially viable. You know, we've been able to win some reshoring projects. Good example is the new HoseLink Evolve hose reel. I'm proud to say that we're actually been manufacturing that, assembling that, and distributing that for HoseLink. They're a great customer, great Australian family and customer there, and that goes straight to their distribution store, and then they send that both throughout Australia and the US. They've got great markets on that. So we've been proud to actually, you know, help them go through some of the issues that they've had, and then develop up a product that's proudly Australian made.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Graham, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks so much. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks for tuning in to Manufacturing Tech Australia with Shane and Paul.